get excited about something, when I'm really passionate about things, I talk really fast. So I'm going to slow it down and talk about, the gatherings, the needed community. I have 2 teenagers, and I'm a single mother right now, and how important it would have been, even when I was married, how important it would have been when my kids were younger, to come together as a community of women to support each other. I didn't have any family around here, so I felt very isolated, in my bubble. And of course I had lots of friends, but still, we all get in our own individual houses. We get into our own individual routines, and you're running to work, and you're doing the household chores, and you're taking care of your kids, and your whole priority is them, and you kind of lose a bit of yourself in that process. And even if you don't have kids, you still can get isolated, too focused on your job, too focused, on different aspects of your life, that you forget to come together as a community of women. You forget to come together and unite forces to be a part of that, community, because it's healing in a lot of ways, through sharing experiences, to ceremonies and rituals, and we do some of that with birthday parties and graduations and all the things that we get bombarded with, but to really feel them from the heart, in my nutrition I talk all the time about, healing the body with food and how important that is. But there's 4 aspects to our body, there's the mental, the physical, the spiritual, and the emotional. Can you hear me there? Yeah, good. So all those bodies, in order to be a whole person, whether you're male or female, need to be taken care of. They need to be nourished. And a lot of times, we lose the spiritual because, churches aren't speaking to us anymore. They're not, they're not where we're at anymore. And even if they are, we need other people to come together to feel that message and to really feel their vibration, because we're all made out of cells, our whole body, and our whole vibration of how we vibrate depends on each individual cell in our body. And as each individual cell is created, it has its own vibration. And it's that collective of our vibrations and it's collective of everybody's vibration together that makes that community thrive, and it makes that community go up and above what it should be. And so that you can do empowering and inspiring things, not just for yourself and your own family, but as a group, so that we can, make everything come together at a higher vibration, and not, and not let the, naysayers and the lower vibrational, negative talk get into our field of how we're doing things, because everybody has a different way of doing things. And, as women, we're subject to, and even men, a lot of, finger pointing and speculation about how things should be done. And there's no one right way to do things in your life, but you need to, come together and find what's right for you. Find your inner vibration that's attached to the universe, and that will raise that inner vibration and that make all your cells come together. So at the Women's Summit that I went to in Casey Cape last weekend, it was a last-minute decision on my part to go, and but I'm really so happy that I went, because it was part of taking care of me that I really needed. Because women don't come together like they used to, and it was so healing to hear everybody's story and see where they're at in their lives and their perspectives, and then to have we ate together and to have an extended period of time to do that. Because having an hour or two to talk to somebody and catch up is great, but to have extended weekend, to have an extended period of time where you can put your full force into feeling your energy, feeling other people's energy, and to really connect on all the levels, on the emotional, on the physical, on the mental, on the spiritual. Connect on all levels. That's really important to make us whole. and so that we can see, what area in our lives that we, need to spend some more time, because we get so busy and everything's pulling us in every direction, and our, from our kids to our families to, our careers. We've got to come together to feel that vibration. So, we danced, we swam, we had really great food. It was nice not to have to, prepare food for myself all weekend, even though I love to cook. It was really nice to have that prepared for us so that we can have more time connecting rather than, preparing things. And then there was all the different workshops, so you could go to whichever one called to you the most if you needed to work on. So that was really, really great. And that sense of community, made new friends, new connections, that really fulfills and enriches your life to the fullest so that you can keep your vibration at a higher level so that we can all make a difference in our communities and making a difference in each other's lives. Yeah? Did you have anything to add to that, Jody? Oh, yeah. So when I first arrived, we were all tenting, so we set up our tents, and that was really great. We helped each other, get settled and set up, and it was nice to be, the tents were really close together, which at first, seemed a little bit awkward, but it was really great because you were so close to your neighbor and you really, were made to get to know them, which is important because we get shy and we get awkward and we get weird about, what other people are going to think about things, and, it's hard to get in and force that sense of community and knowing your neighbor. So it was a neighborhood, so it was a little neighborhood of tents, and then we all went to the big teepee to get to know each other and have the opening ceremony and see who was going to do the workshops and which workshops we might be interested in. So that was really, an essential part is just the feeling of connection without, feeling the pettiness that sometimes can happen between women, and without feeling, the competitiveness or the interactions. So that was important to come together as a group and to hear everybody's different stories. And to let down our guard. And it takes more than 2 hours, it took, the whole entire weekend. And at the end of the weekend, I wanted to be a week long because I felt like I didn't totally get to know everybody. I wanted even longer. So there was a bunch of people I got to know, but I wanted to know everybody even more. So I found it could have been even longer for me, just to really get to know people, at their core and what makes them vibrate and what makes them excited for life, so that you can be excited for life and continue on. So that was really great. Anybody can ask any questions along the way too if they have any questions for me.
Yeah, that's usually there's like 10 minutes after.
10 minutes after?
Yeah.
Okay.
You only got you can go for like another minute or two if you want to talk about something specific.
Okay. Anything else? Oh, they do encourage public breastfeeding. A lot of women were able to bring their children if they were still at the breastfeeding age, and they brought them, and it was so nice to see so many women breastfeeding at once, and it's not not to, sexualize breasts and all that. It was just human nature, in order for them to be able to come together, they needed to be able to breastfeed their babies. They would not have been able to be there without being able to continue to breastfeed their babies at all. And so that is so integral and important part of the event. So those ones that were, pregnant or breastfeeding were able to bring those babies with them, you're not gonna, send somebody home because they're pregnant. You're not gonna, send somebody home because they have a baby in their arms. It's important that, women are allowed out of the house, and they're, they can't get out of the house if they are not allowed to fully be able to breastfeed in public. You're isolated, you're secluded, and, you absolutely lose a sense of community. I mean, you lose, your sense, so you can lose your self-worth in that whole process. You can, just from the isolation alone. So it's really important to be accepting of everybody, at whatever stage they are in their life. My kids are teenagers, and I was allowed to, leave them home, which I was very happy for. I love to be with them, but I love my me time too, when I spend it with other women and get to know them, and so we do, and get to know where we're at in our lives. But it was so great to see all the young moms there that were taking care of their babies and able to share their stories and help each other, so that it's an easier process. It's not a hard process, raising kids if we do it as a community. It takes a lot of people to raise children, and if we feel more connected, then we're going to be able to raise those children better, so then they can go on and have a higher vibration and be productive women themselves and men.
Okay, so we'll wrap it up. Good. So
if anybody has any questions, I'll be happy to answer anytime.
Yeah, so we get about 10 minutes until the next talk, which will be Jody over there. So in the meantime, if you have any questions, question and answer period is pretty cool. I can mingle amongst each other, which I think you're already doing, which is nice. I do have a question for you. I mean, I'll start the period. From your experience, from what I'm gathering, I mean, how important do you feel it is to kind of allow women to be women? I mean, in order to be in a community like.
To allow women to be women? Yeah. Well, it's important for us to come together as women, because we have all these different ideals, and I spoke about it a little bit at the beginning. We have all these different ideals and preconceptions about what we're supposed to be, and how we're supposed to be, and how we're supposed to raise our kids, and how we're supposed to do our job, and how we're supposed to do all the different things we have to do in our lives. And we're running frantically to clean our houses, and that we really need that community to come together, so we can help each other raise our children, so that we can take turns babysitting, so that we have some time to ourselves to really connect with our spiritual body and our emotional body, to really know who we are, so we don't lose ourselves in that whole process of having kids. And that way, when they do leave, that we're whole people, and that we're not lost, once we make that transition into not having kids again. That we can still be us, and that we can continue at that higher vibration and continue on with our lives and making a difference in the community.